You know, I don't think I know a toy line as reliable as SH Figuarts. I mean, every time I'm in the mood for a really solid action figure with a ton of accessories, all I have to do is pick one up and thoroughly enjoy whatever I manage to grab. And in this case, I managed to grab GokaiBlue from the Gokaiger series. I can't help but be drawn to him because, well, Gokai Red was sold out. But besides that, I mean, yeah, this is a phenomenally cool character from a phenomenally cool show. So yeah, I'm happy to have him. We've got a ton to get to on this, guys, so we will go into the details and get a very up-close and personal look at this guy. You can see a ton of detailing going into the head, a lot of that gold trim all the way around, extremely well painted, and the Gokaiger symbol, of course, emblazoned on his forehead. Very sharp. I always really liked his design and the visor shape on GokaiBlue. And you can see it goes all the way around, not missing anything. Speaking of, I'll look at this side of the collar first and notice even on the underside, they remembered the Gokaiger logo. That is a phenomenal little bit of detail. You can see the blue striping has gone all the way to the back as well. A lot of it there on the front. No. It does have, like, I want to say the gold paint used here has a very slight greenish tint, and I see that in person too, though it might just be my lighting. It's a little bit distracting, but I know it's not too bad. You can see, again, the Gokaiger logo. It's everywhere here. The belt as well, painted all the way around. You can even see a little bit left unpainted on the top where the button for revealing the key is. And again, yes, all the way to the back, even the little belt clip. They remember that too. Going to the arms, you can see solid all the way up until you get to his wrist where the cuffs have been painted silver. And you can see his padded glove for the hand. We'll get into hands later. Oh, yes, we will. Tights are nothing to say anything about. All black all the way down. A little bit of detailing once we get to the boot. Again, the cuff of it looped over, painted silver. And very nice, accurate detailing. I mean, it has a little bit of a loose feel to it. A little bit of the wrinkling, just to give you the impression that it's a piece of clothing. Very nice little attention to detail on it. And again, a little bit of striping, a little bit of molding, and even the undersides. And yeah, they left the soles unpainted. I love that attention. I guess this means articulation now, right? Yeah, after a week of doing toys like this, yeah, I've kind of got the feel now. Okay, just like any other Figuart, most of them anyway, I've seen, ball joints at the top and bottom of the neck, tons of motion and rotation available. In the shoulders, this is a little bit unique. You can see on Shinken Red that I reviewed before, there were little cuffs to help break up the gap. Here they used the here they used the natural shape of his coat in order to create the illusion there, which actually works a lot better. Since there isn't a free-floating part there, nothing is really getting in the way of the articulation. Well, you know, nothing except, you know, that overhang that's guarding it. But you can still get a ton of range out of it, so it's not a big hassle. And it's slightly soft plastic, so you're not going to break it if you go a little bit overboard. Bicep rotation, double jointed elbows, always a welcome sight. The wrists I always love in a Figuart, because for those who have never seen it, you get the swivel, you get a ball joint, and you get a ball joint at the actual hand, and then you get one inside his wrist as well for swiveling. Tons and tons of motion in that. Also motioning his torso all the way around. It rotates, it flexes. You also have the waist. The belt is an independent piece, so it does not hinder the waist articulation in the least. Also, lots in the hips. The hips are actually always really nice. They do have that extension stem on them, so you can pull it out and get his leg up higher. And as you can see, the overhang on his coat is also soft plastic, so while it does kind of spring his leg back a little bit, it does allow him a full range of motion in every direction. You can also get the rotation, which shaped to the muscle of the leg helps keep it looking natural. Again, I love how much they think of here. Double jointed knee, very nice. We can see the rotation here at the ankle as well as the toes pointing upward. Tons and tons of articulation. You can basically get into just about any pose you could really imagine him doing from the show. Incredible level of detail. There is really no end to how many poses you can put him in. Basically, if you saw him do it for real, he can do it here too. Now I wanted to get him out of the way quick because he's got so much to talk about in the accessory department. Starting, of course, with the hands. You start off with your typical holding hands. These, in particular, are for his Gokai saber. We also have the hands used for holding the Gokai gun with the extended finger for the trigger. We have splayed-open hands for posing in general. And we have gesturing hands, slightly different from left to right for a little bit of variety. But the hands do not stop there. You've got a right hand pointing finger for his post-henshin pose, and you have an extra holding hand. What it holds, we are going to get to here in a bit. Altogether, that's 12 hands, which is a great amount for any Figuart, but we aren't even close to done. I think logic dictates we begin with his favorite weapon, the Gokai saber, and this is just loaded with detail all on its own. You can see the Gokaiger logo trimmed in blue, and again, there in red, trimmed in gold on the front button. A little bit of machine detailing painted in and right there. A little bit here behind the blade, gold trim and red all the way through. There's the handguard and the bottom left unpainted, kept accurate. And you can see the barrel here where the Ranger key goes. Tons and tons of detailing, and just such a simple accessory. And by the way, they don't screw around in Japan. This thing is sharp. That's a tiny, tiny little point. And this is the kind of thing that'll make a Figuart draw blood. It has happened. It's happened to me. Don't question it. His lesser used Gokai gun gets the same treatment. You can see again the Gokaiger logo with a lot of the blue trim along there, and there's the barrel again molded into the top. You can see they even put a hole in the barrel just so it has a proper look of a modern flintlock. And a little bit more of the gold on the handle, a lot of detailing, even painted the trigger. I really am impressed. Oh, and yeah, there's the activation button again at the bottom. Love the attention to detail in this kind of thing. And of course, that stray holding hand was meant for the signature item itself, the mobile rates. Incredibly tiny little mobile rates. But all the detail that went into it. You can see the logo again emblazed on the top. You can see in the back, painted gold, appropriately done and molded. Even a little tiny logo there at the back. Tiny, tiny detailing. The buttons are individually painted. The red is painted all the way around. The gold trim around the key tumbler. Just absolutely astonishing level of detail here. Now, of course, that's for the holding hand I alluded to before, and since all of these parts are interchangeable with other Figuarts, you can use that hand to have other Sentai Figuarts hanging on to the mobile rates to initiate a Gokai change, which is actually a really thoughtful detail to include. And what would a mobile rates be without one of these? Yes, he comes with his own little tiny Ranger key that fits in his hand to scale. That is absolutely astonishing, and I'll probably be showing you a demo of him holding it right now. At least I hope I remember to shoot that, because it's kind of important. I mean, the size of this thing is absolutely astonishing and ranks as one of the smallest accessories I've ever seen included with a figure, if not the smallest. Just to give you an example, there's a dime, and there is the Ranger key. Fits easily. I could probably fit another 3 or 4 on here. That was literally one of the smallest accessories I ever saw, until I looked right beside it in the packaging and noticed this. The folded up version. Oh my god. Half the size, and yes, this does plug into the mobile rates, so you can have anyone henching into a Blue Ranger of whatever your imagination desires. Even on the back, they painted the metal part of the key silver. That's absolutely astonishing level of detail. Not so astonishing that this is his accurate-looking key. It actually is based on Gokai Reds, but I'm not really going to complain. I can't quite blame them for sharing a mold on this case. But that's the stuff all the Gokaigers come with. They also always come with special accessories meant just for them. In GokaiBlue's case, what else could it be but his multi-sabers? Check it out. It's the Gokai Saber times 2. And if that's not enough, he also gets it times 3. This thing is kind of ludicrous and incredibly excessive. I feel like Freddy Krueger with this thing. You can see that they cheated on the handle. I assume this is actually how the prop looks, because how else would he hold it? Where there is a spot for his hand to grip onto them. I have to admit, I just love how ludicrous these things are. It's basically just the Gokai Saber tripled up, and you can see how much thought they put into it with all the sabers in the middle painted as well, all the way down to the hilt. Not to mention, he's just looking plain badass when he's holding these, and if you don't have another Gokaiger to share swords with, it's a nice alternative. Oh, silly me, I almost forgot to talk about the barrels. Here, let me bring these two back, and I'll show you that each of them actually have a little action feature, where you can raise up the barrels of them, just like you're about to insert a Gokai key, or Ranger key I should say. Just like all the Gokaigers, you can swap them out for these, barrels that already have a key inserted. Though you can see it is all generic. They all share the same mold, and all of them are solid painted silver. That's a little bit of a disappointment, seeing how much attention went into all the other little tiny accessories on this toy. Still, it is nice. At least they thought of it. And since he has so many different swords, he comes with a ton of these things. One for every blade and his Gokai gun. So, yeah, he can load up a ton of Ranger keys here. The sad thing is, I've talked so much on his accessories that I almost feel like I'm neglecting the figures. So, you know what? Before we head out, let's make this review a little extra showy. I said Figuarts was a line that never lets me down, and this is no exception. GokaiBlue is an absolutely outstanding example of the line. I really like the little improvements that make him a little bit better than the Shinken Red Figuart I already reviewed. And of course, he is absolutely loaded with accessories. Between all the ways you can display him doing poses in the show or action poses with his swords, it'd be really hard to get used to seeing this guy on your shelves. I mean, there's just so much you can do with him. And of course, if you're one of the lucky ones who got a steering wheel with him, like I was not, then he's got even more he can do. Though this does have my official rabbit hole warning, once you have someone in the middle of the Gokaiger lineup, you're gonna want to extend outward a little bit. This one, of course, came from HobbyLink Japan, where half of them are available, at least, as of this recording. The rest, you're on your own. I'm going to be hunting them down too, though, so we are in this together. Let's consider it a treasure hunt. A treasure hunt in reverse, because when it's done, we all end up very broke in the process. But very happy. That's what counts, right? Right?